afternoon, everybody. Welcome for this surprise Facebook Live. It is National Unicorn Day, so I'm going to show you what we affectionately call our chubby unicorns. These are our southern white rhinos. We have two girls here. They are both 4 years old. Their names are Rhino and West, and they are, like I said, they're rhinos. Now, you may say unicorn means one horn, and I can obviously see two horns on that rhino. Well, there is actually a species of rhino that is called the greater one-horn rhino, otherwise known as the Indian rhino, and they only have one horn. So our southern white rhinos are going to be representative of all the rhino species today. There are only 5 rhino species in the world remaining, and they're very endangered. So we have them here as part of a breeding program at the San Antonio Zoo that we've been a part of since the 1970s. We're very proud to be the first zoo in the country to have a white rhino born outside of Africa, which is really neat, a really storied history here with rhinos at our zoo. And we're going to continue that on with our 2 new girls. You may have visited us before and been here and done a behind the scenes. This is a behind the scenes opportunity that we have here at the zoo. So when we reopen, I invite everybody to come and visit Rhino and West and do our behind the scenes opportunities. If you saw my chat on Dama gazelles earlier last week, I talked about even-toed ungulates, and right here you can see the 3 toes on a rhino, making them an odd-toed ungulate. So they're more closely related to horses than they are giraffes. Giraffes have 2 toes on their feet. These girls have 3 toes on their feet. So a little throwback to your vocab lesson earlier.
Just can you tell us again why we're here and what we're doing this surprise Facebook Live for today?
So we're doing this Facebook Live because it's National Unicorn Day. So anybody who wasn't here at the very beginning, it is National Unicorn Day, and these are our chubby unicorns. Now, I did say that rhinos are very endangered. One of the things that we do as zookeepers is there's the American Association of Zookeepers, and we do a annual fundraiser for rhinos. It's called Bowling for Rhinos. And that's where we all gather together to raise money and go bowling for these girls. All that money is donated to different conservation efforts in Africa that help protect them. It helps pay the salaries of the rangers that put their lives on the line to protect these awesome animals from poachers. It helps pay for school supplies so that the children that grow up in the same area and live with these rhinos will learn to appreciate the rhinos and be able to find other income other than poaching, because poaching is lucrative, but it's not good for the species. One of the reasons poaching is so hard on these animals is because one rhino will give birth to 1 calf, but in 18 months. So that's a very long gestation. It takes a really long time for these animals to reproduce, and when they're slow reproducing, they get poached at a rate that's too high for the population to overcome. So we have to stop the poaching, and by providing money to protect these animals, we're helping with conservation abroad, and we're helping take care of them here in our zoo. Is there any other questions?
Fred would like to know if the rhino play nice with the zebra.
They do. I mean, as long as everyone's behaving, they kind of stay a little bit separate from each other, but they do get along. We wouldn't put anybody in here that didn't get along in some way. We're not here to risk the animals' lives, so they definitely get along. We did monitor the introductions, and that did take a long process. Being large animals, we want to be very careful with that, but they do get along. They're good roommates.
Kelly would like to know what the rhino's biggest threat is in the wild and if they are hunted for their horns.
So that is their biggest threat, is being hunted and poached for their horns. Their horns are made of a keratin material. It's very similar to your hair and fingernails. It's the same protein. So the horns will grow throughout the animal's life, and they shape it however they want. If you can get, I don't know if the camera can pick up, if you get really close, you can kind of see how fibrous that is on the side of the horn. It is just like your hair. It's just a really fibrous hair. And So that is what they are poached for, and man is their greatest threat. Once they get to be about this size, where they're around 3,000 to 4,000 pounds, there is not a whole lot that will take one down. There's not a whole lot of animals that are going to hunt them. A big pride of lions or a big group of hyenas might take out a sick or injured rhino, but that's pretty much it. If they're healthy and active, there's not a whole lot that's going to take them on. They're basically a tank, and they can run at 30 miles per hour. So I like to say that they're a car that's speeding through a school zone.
Can you tell us how much they weigh and how long they live?
So these two girls are right around 3,000 pounds. They can get up to 5,000 pounds. Well, the males can reach 5,000 pounds. The females will top out around 4,000, 3,500 to 4,000 pounds. What was the other part of that?
How long they live?
How long they live. Sorry, that's an obvious question. They can live to be in their 40s to early 50s in zoos. In the wild, it's going to be much shorter due to that poaching that I'm talking about. That shortens their average lifespan a lot. But these girls are 4 years old, so they have a nice long life ahead of them with 24-hour health care and the right nutrition. We can get them to 50 and beyond, possibly.
What are they eating?
They are eating grass. So specifically, they're eating alfalfa hay. Southern white rhinos are known as the world's largest lawnmower. They have a wide, flat lip, which is actually how they got that name white. It was actually a misnomer. They were actually saying wit, which is the Afrikaans word for wide. They have a wide, flat lip. They set that down on the ground, and then they just mow the grass down, which is why there's not a whole lot of grass growing in this enclosure anymore. They ate it all. So we provide grass for them. We provide coastal hay and Timothy hay, and then they get an extra treat of alfalfa hay. This is a lot higher sugar content, so they don't get it all the time, but it is their absolute favorite thing. So when we do our interactions behind the scenes with guests, we'll use the alfalfa hay. Or if we need them to cooperate with the vets coming and seeing them or getting a weight on them, we'll give them alfalfa hay as an extra little treat to cooperating with us and helping us out with their own health care.
How do they sleep?
How do they sleep? They lay down. They'll lay down and lean. Sometimes they'll lean up against different items or each other. I've seen them laying side to side, leaning on each other. But yeah, they just lay down and go to sleep, kind of like you would think a dog, but just make that dog be 4,000 pounds.
How long do babies stay with their mom?
I believe babies will stay with their mom for